Hey y'all, welcome back to Mandy's Music Monday. It's me, Mandy. It's been a long time since we've done this. I don't know what's going on, but this stupid thing keeps popping up saying I have no audio as usual. Um, but I wanted to do a vlog before everything goes and floats out of my mind because I went and seen New Kids on the Block yesterday, which was Sunday, and it was New Kids on the Block, TLC, and Nelly. And I just wanted to do like a quick little concert review and yeah. So, okay, the day started out with they were playing at the KFC Yum Center in Louisville here in Kentucky. And I have never been to the KFC Yum Center. Is effing huge. It is huge. And we got our seats, like the show was Sunday, we got our seats Monday. I think it was Monday. Yeah, it was that Monday. And the tickets were only $36 because they're freaking ass nosebleed, like way at the top. And I knew it wasn't going to be way at the top, but I underestimated how big the KFCM Center was. It's effing huge. And so we had me and my friend, I went with my friend Courtney. I'm going to put up a couple pictures right now. So I went with my friend Courtney, and she's been there several times. And she's like, we have to take the elevator to get to the top. And I'm like, okay, that elevator was freaking high, and I don't do good with height, so I'm already like on the elevator, like, oh my gosh, this is too high, this is too high, this is too high, I'm gonna be sick. And so we get there, and I'm like looking all over because I'm like, I want to buy a t-shirt before I leave. And she's like, oh, they usually have one on every floor. Well, they didn't have one, and we walked all the way around that thing. You guys, I just can't even explain to you how big it is. I swear we walked a mile in a circle. It's huge. And so anyway, we go to our seats, and we're like at the tippy top. Like we're climbing and climbing and climbing, and it is so effing steep. It is so steep. And we are literally like 2 rows away from the very top. Okay. 2 rows away from the very top. That is the farthest I have ever sat away from anything in my life. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. So we're walking up there. Now, this is an important part of the story that happens at the end, which it has nothing to do with New Kids on the Block, when I'll tell you anyway because I can. So we're like walking, and it's like super steep. And like I said, I'm scared of heights, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna fall. I'm gonna fall. I'm immediately thinking I'm gonna fall because that is how steep and high up we are. And so Courtney goes down this one aisle to go in the seats, and it's an empty aisle. Well, she climbs over one of the seats, and then she sits in that seat, and she's like, it's these ones. And I'm like, hell no, I ain't climbing over no chairs, no freaking folding chairs. I'm not climbing over that shit to get in that seat. And she's like, come on, I'll help you. I'm like, no. And the reason she did it was because there was like 4 or 5 people at the very end of that aisle or the end of that row that we were on. It's Prince. I will die for you. Anyway, so I apologize to them. I'm like, I'm sorry, but I'm like, I'm not climbing over that seat. And the one girl was like, no, 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 it's fine. I understand. She's like, it's really high up. And she's like, I'm scared. I wouldn't do it either. And so then we're sitting there talking to the other girl, and we're like, oh my gosh, if you fell, you would literally break your neck. Foreshadowing. You're welcome. And so I was like scared the whole time. Like I sat down, like walking up there, and my knees were shaking. My knees and like both of my legs were just shaking because I was so scared to be up there. You know what? I'm gonna put a picture up right now of the seats that we had. So we're sitting there, and like Nelly comes out. Nelly, I am not a huge rap fan. I know Nelly singles. I know like the chorus of Nelly singles. I don't know any of his rap. But I will say this, Nelly is a beautiful looking man. That's all I'm saying. He was fine. And he was like they did, he was doing his songs, and he had like dancers and stuff. And there was people like standing up and like dancing and waving, and I'm like, Courtney, I'm like, I can't even look at these people because they're making me sick to my stomach. Like them standing in front of me and like dancing or whatever, I'm like, I'm gonna pass out. Like, I'm seriously, I feel gross. I'm up too high. I'm up too high. I don't feel good. And she's like, just don't look at him, whatever. So we like scooted down because our row wasn't full. And so we scooted down. So like I wasn't sitting in front of them, and there was like a clear view of the stage, and it was fine. And so I have a couple of clips of Nelly. I'm trying to decide on whether or not I want to put them in or not, because the last time I inserted clips was for the Garth Brooks show and I got copyright. I got in trouble, even though they were like tiny clips. So I don't think I want to put any clips. I think I'll just put like a couple of pictures. So and so then TLC came out, and TLC was absolutely fabulous. And T-Boz has the most expressive hair in the world. I've always loved her hair, even like back in the day. And I was telling my friend Courtney, I'm like, I can totally shave my head like that, like shave all this in the back, and like shave this like this. And I'm like, I could have T-Boz hair and just like curl all this, like crimp it. It'd be fabulous. And they sounded really, really good. I did notice that they cut out a lot of uh, Left Eye's, like her rap parts out. They cut a lot of her rap out of all the songs, really. They just like cut her parts out. And you know, they said that they would never replace her and blah blah blah. The only part that they had the rap in was Waterfalls, and it was like a live rap. You could tell, and they just played it and they were dancing. They were amazing. I don't think I got any pictures of them. But you know, TLC was like my love back in the day. I mean, like that was like freaking slow jam music, and that was like middle school dance music. And you know, like Creep, I'm like, that was my jam back in the day. I loved Creep. And then of course Waterfalls was awesome. Um, but they both looked good. I mean, they were dancing and they were amazing, amazing. And they still sounded fabulous. And I didn't mention this, but like in between each act, like there was no intermission. Like the lights never came on. Um, there was no time to go to the bathroom. Like if you had to go to the bathroom, you just went when somebody was on stage, because like when Nelly went off, there was maybe like 2 minutes where like they played music, but it was still dark. Like they never turned the lights back on. And then it just went like, choo, choo, choo. And so then after TLC left, New Kids on the Block came out, and when they first come out, like they're um, introducing them like it's a boxing match, and they have on like their little boxing outfits, like the robes and the hoods and stuff. And the first song they sang was like a block party song. I don't remember. I didn't know it. I didn't know a lot of their newer stuff, or I didn't know stuff that wasn't like a huge like hit. Like I knew a lot of their songs, like I knew like Cover Girl and Valentine Girl and stuff like that, because it's on their greatest hits album. But like their newer stuff, I didn't know. And honestly, I didn't need to know it, because it was basically the Magic Mike movie, and they were just up there like dancing and humping the stage and ripping their shirt off. And oh my God, it was so fabulous. And I mean, all of them looked awesome. They looked amazing. Danny looked like he could be in Jersey Shore. He straight up looked like he could be in Jersey Shore. They didn't show Jonathan very much, which I thought was weird, but he was never like, wasn't he like the first one that left maybe? And you know, he really doesn't have like any solo parts that he sang. Which I thought Jonathan was still beautiful though. But Jordan has always been my man. Jordan will always be my man. He's just, he's so beautiful and majestic, and just like this magical mythical creature like prancing around on the stage, just being harmonious. You know, it was wonderful. And Donnie was fabulous. Johnny, you know, is like the badass. He was up there cussing and saying the F word and stuff. And Joey still sounded good, but Joey was never my man, because he was little. He was a little boy. Like I like I am attracted to older men, like much older men than me. Like if anyway, I like 50s. Like I think men in their 50s are gorgeous. Anyway, I'm getting off track. Like Jordan was my man. And so let me see. Then they sang, after they sang that block party song, they sang Hanging Tough, and they busted out them old school moves. And I tell you what, Mandy's heart went a little pitter pattery. And I told Courtney, she was sitting next to me, I was like, Courtney, when they first came on, I'm like, oh my God, I could cry. I'm like, I think I'm gonna cry. She's like, don't you cry. I'm like, I'm gonna cry. I can feel it. I'm like, I'm so like, I just can't. I'm gonna cry. And they were so good. But let me tell you, there was this one part um where like when they go to change after like they change like twice. So they had like the boxing outfits on, and then they went and changed, and they put like suits and ties and stuff on, and they came out and sang like all the slow girl songs, which, have you ever noticed that every New Kids on the Block song says girl in it like 10 times? I mean, we've got Please Don't Go Girl, Cover Girl, Valentine Girl, like every song is, they say girl, girl, girl. I don't have a problem with it. Just putting it out there. I don't have a problem with it, but they say it a lot. Um, and then, so when they went to change into their suits and stuff, like on the big screen, like they have a camera that's in their dressing room, so you get to see them all changing. And like Donnie took his shirt and stuff off, and you see them in their underwear. It was kind of nice. It was really nice. It was really nice. And then let me see, what else am I missing? Jordan had a solo song, Joey had a solo song, and then Donnie had a solo song. So Jordan came out first, and one of my friends had warned me because she had just went and seen them that Thursday, and she's like, I just need to warn you that Jordan has a solo where he's got his shirt unbuttoned and the fan is blowing it, and you just see abs. It's nothing but abs. It was fabulous. So he comes out and he's singing a song. I don't know what song it was. And to me, it really did matter because he had a white button-up shirt on and it was completely unbuttoned. And then he had like these black pants on and it was like blowing in the fan. And I mean, it was just like fucking like unicorns on a snowy mountaintop with, freaking like glitter like falling on top of him while baby angels played trumpets behind him. I mean, it was awesome. And so I was like, Courtney, I was like, oh my God. I'm like, oh my God. Courtney's like, man, you need to calm down. And I'm like, I know I'm in my 30s, girl, but let me tell you what, I'm feeling like it took me back to when I was like super young. But I mean, technically when they came out, I was like 4. So, I mean, anyway, it made me feel like a 15-year-old girl, even if I wasn't a 15-year-old girl in the 80s. And so then, like, he's like rolling around on the floor and stuff with his shirt all open and the fan blowing. And then the lights go off and his shirt's buttoned back up. And I was like, what the hell? I turned to Courtney. I'm like, what did he go and do that for? And then, like, a minute later, he just like ripped it open and the fan started blowing again. And I'm like, that's why he did it. That's why he did that. And in that stadium, I was like, dear Lord, baby Jesus, thank you so much for blessing me and blessing the KFC Yum Center with Jordan Knight's abs. I mean, it was fabulous. And then Joey came out and took his shirt off too, and I wasn't like, like I love Joey, but Joey's not my man. He's just so young. He's so young, and even though he's probably in his like late 30s, early 40s, maybe he's too young for me. He's too young. And then Donnie came out and he didn't take his clothes off or nothing, but that's okay. And he sang this song on the piano. Like they did some covers. Like Joey did like this hyped up cover of Sweet Dreams by the Eurythmics, and then he had like some part in the middle that wasn't like in the actual song. And then he went back to the original. And Donnie sang a cover of Lean on Me, and I don't remember what the other song that he sang before that was. And I don't know what Jordan was singing because honestly, I could not comprehend anything. I couldn't comprehend anything but the abs. I'm like, fuck. It was beautiful. And then, so the show's over, and I'm like so hyped up and just like, I had like a great time. I mean, it was so good, and Step by Step was just my favorite. And they had like these steps that went like up and down, and they were like dancing on them, and it was so good. I just can't even explain. Like, I feel like I'm fangirling right now, and I am fangirling, so I'm sorry I'm fangirling, but I don't really care that I'm fangirling because I was a fangirl there. That's all I'm saying. And so then, the people at the end of the aisle, like Courtney we wanted to leave because we were tired. We're at the very tippy top. We wanted to get down and just like go, Otherwise, we were going to be there for 10 years trying to get out of the stadium and then trying to get out of the parking lot. So these girls weren't moving, and Courtney's like, go. And I'm like, they're not moving. I don't know what you want me to do. And so she climbs over the seat and she's like, come on. And I'm like, no, I'm not climbing over that seat and going to that empty aisle and leaving. And she's like, Mandy, do it. And I'm like, no. And she's like, here, I'll help you. And she holds out her hand. And I'm thinking, oh, this is probably not a good idea, Mandy. We probably shouldn't do this, Mandy. And she talked me into it. So I took her hand and I was holding on, like I gave her my purse first and she set it down there, and then I took her hand, and not like I've said this in many other vlogs before, but my left leg is numb because I have a bad back and it's pinched nerves off and stuff, and it's just numb. So a lot of times I'll like lose my balance because it's numb, or like I walk in circles because it's not, no, I really don't walk in circles, but you know, whatever. I like lean to the left a lot. Sometimes I trip a lot. I sprain my ankle a lot just because if that foot doesn't hit right, I'm going down. So I wasn't even thinking, and I stepped off with my left foot, and I was like all like almost down, and I'm like, dude, I've got this. I've got this. Like I felt like powerful and awesome. And then the next thing you know, my foot just went whoop like that. And Mandy went down. And my first thought was, I'm going over this seat like this. And the next thing you know, I see the ceiling. And it was like in slow motion. I'm going like this. And my world is just like tumbling. And then I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to roll all the way down these bleachers and I'm going to break my neck and die. Like I just knew I could feel it. I'm like, I'm going to roll all the way down. And I'm going to go over the edge and I'm going to die. But no, what ended up happening was like my left leg went up under me and like Courtney was still holding on my arm like this. And then my right leg was literally like straight up in the air, pointing to the heavens, and my foot was right here. So I looked like this, and right there was my damn foot. And Mandy was not meant to have been like that. Like I told her, I'm like, it's a good thing that I've lost like 65 pounds because seriously, my fat ass would have been stuck in between the seat and that other seat in front of me. I was like, I was bent up like a pretzel, y'all. It was horrible. But I just like jumped up like this. And I was like, Courtney, you bitch. I was like, I told you I didn't want to do this. And she's like, oh my God, are you okay? And of course she's laughing. I would have laughed if it was her that fell. But oh my gosh. So then I got home and like my ankle didn't really hurt because I can't feel that leg and I can't feel that ankle. I can't feel that foot. So that didn't really hurt, but I woke up this morning and like my ankle was like twice the size it's supposed to be. I have a massive bruise like this big on my hip, and my hip is so swollen, like it's sticking out really far. My thigh on my right leg, because it went up and pointed to the heavens, it hurts so bad. Every time I get up and down, it feels like something is ripping. I have a big bruise like this big on my right ankle. I have a bruise on the back of my calf and like this big scratch where I think when I landed on my shoe, like I had sandals on, you know, they're skinny on the side, like it put a perfect line right there on my leg. I'll put some pictures up of my damage if you want to see it. So, okay, guys, that's it. That's how my night ended. It started out fabulous until I almost broke myself. And yeah, and I still had to go to work today. I tried to call in just because my hip hurts so bad and it's so swollen and it stuck out funny. And my thigh just hurts like a mofo. It feels like that thigh muscle is just ripping every time I stand up. And of course nobody will come in for me. I come in for everybody else. And then the one time I need to call, you know, to call in or whatever, it's like I was like, can I just come in a little bit later? And they're like, yeah, so whatever, whatever. But New Kids on the Block was fabulous, and I would do it again. I really would do it again, minus the falling part. Like I really thought I was gonna die. I'm not joking. Imagine falling down. That picture that I showed you in the beginning. Imagine falling down to that in your death. And I was like, you know what? Donnie's down there on the stage, like waving goodbye and like touching people's hand and shit. And here just comes this big fat girl over the rail and breaks her neck. Great. Whatever. Okay, that's it, guys. Bye. Thanks for watching.